So this video is about what I did to fix the headliner on my Honda Accord. And it's not a beginning to end of everything I did. It's just a few steps that I made note of. So buying process, some of my mistakes, and just, someone who wasn't convinced that this was really something I should do, but I did anyway. So I wrangled it out of the car and I removed the seat and a bunch of other stuff. And that's the kind of thing I go through here. So, we started out with the um, taking the headliner out and, went on to the what I did in the buying and then where I ended up buying and how long it took me to get it and very little bit about the gluing and then sort of getting the headliner ready to go back in and then finishing it up. So that's what I did, and uh, I'll go through the details now. So the first thing I did was kind of figure out, okay, what do I need here? This cloth just pulled away from the foam, and the foam uh, just kind of peeled off. It was just gone. So just by brushing it with my hand or with a little brush, I got all the foam off. And then I started looking on Amazon for the replacement fabric, and I ended up going to this place called Headliner Magic, and it was cheaper to buy them directly. And usually I don't buy directly. Usually I buy through Amazon if I can, but I bought directly from these guys, and they ended up delivering after a while. I also bought the adhesive from them. Is 17 bucks they charged for it. One can is all I bought. Which was sufficient. I looked on Amazon, and this one's 13 bucks plus 10 bucks shipping. So I was like, yeah, I'll just get it from this guy, this Headliner Magic guy. And so I watched this video, and he doesn't go over a heck of a lot of detail here. He talks about, this is the gluing video, talks about kind of what he does, but it's kind of high level. And so I didn't learn everything I need to know from that. But anyway, it took me 3 weeks to get it. He didn't deliver it until I ordered it on the 17th. He didn't put it in the mail till the 23rd. And then the post office basically kind of, I don't know, lost it or something. It was supposed to be the 2 or 3 day delivery, and it ended up to be 3 weeks before I got the thing. So that's kind of annoying. Um, yeah, I guess and I ended up paying, I think, like 13 bucks shipping, and I ended up getting kind of ripped off on that because I didn't get it all the delivery that I purchased. Yeah, so I paid 14 bucks for shipping, and I ended up taking forever to deliver it. So anyway, lesson learned. So when I got the thing, it had a handprint on it. I kind of was able to kind of wash it off, but yeah, it's kind of hard to see, but there's kind of a big old smudge print on it, which was not good. And I'm not showing you a lot about the gluing here because it was too hard to try to film and glue at the same time. But I actually had a scale out, and I was weighing the can just to make sure I spread it about evenly and didn't like end up with an empty can when I had still stuff left. But if you want to see the Headliner Magic video that I referenced earlier, I'll put it in the comments. So I did get it all glued up. Not perfectly, but I did get it all glued up. It looks reasonable. I mean, it's an old car, so a few little imperfections in the headliner is not a big deal. But I pulled the seat out as well as the console in the middle in order to get the headliner in without bending it too much. That's the worst bend that it did when, if you have the headliner, excuse me, if you have the console out and the passenger seat out. So that goes in almost without problem. Put it right over the stick, the gear shifter, and then kind of yank it and pulls right in, and it doesn't have to bend too much. Although I'm not sure it's worth it. I mean, even if it did bend, I'm not sure it would be much different. So one of the problems is kind of getting it where you need to get it and get all the wires taped. And I tried a few different things. I tried hanging it with a piece of string, and I also tried resting it on the rear view mirror. It kept on falling off the rear view mirror though, so that was kind of a pain. So I would recommend, this is on the passenger side, by the way. I would recommend putting a string or something to keep it from falling. And so this is kind of some struggling video to try to show you kind of taping down the wires back where they used to be and putting them through all the holes. The last thing here, you don't bother to tape because you're going to jiggle it and it'll pull off anyway. But you could put in the overhead light and the lights that go to the visors. And I just used the same tape that was there. I carefully peeled it off when I took it apart, so the tape was still kind of there. It's still sticky. And this is dropping down the light that goes to the lights that are between the driver and the passenger side in the center. And this is the one that you don't necessarily have to, or probably shouldn't bother taping yet, because you're going to jiggle it loose when you're trying to wrestle the thing into place. But these connectors are all dangling out of the respective holes. And now here's one thing that I learned. Start in the back and pull these away. Pull these plastic things away from the car. They just pull directly out. There's nothing to unscrew. And then you can get the headliner up kind of into place, and then push these back. And so start in the back, and also don't do what I'm doing here. Pull away the gaskets. You got to pull away the rubber gaskets. And so I'm not sure this is the optimal way to do this, but it's the way that actually ended up working, because I did make a few mistakes by trying to start in the front, and I realized that's not going to work. So here's the after. It's not perfect. You can see there's a wrinkle there above that rear passenger door. There's some wrinkles above the passenger door here, and but I mean, there's some dirt on the visor anyway, and it's an old car, and so it's not perfectly smooth, but it's reasonable. I mean, nobody's going to be staring at it. As long as it's not dangling down and falling on people's heads, I really think it's fine. But you know, you can see there's imperfections in it. A wrinkle there, and I showed you that before, and then there's a wrinkle there near the pillar on the driver's side, and some wrinkles near the handle there. So not perfect, but it'll do. And I think anybody can probably do this if they have the patience to fiddle around with it. I mean, you can take it in, get it done, or do it yourself, and imperfect as it is, good enough for my purposes. Thanks for watching, and I hope it was helpful to you.